Welcome back to the Warbird Mistress. This is a walk through the war, and today is Saturday, the 13th of December, 1941. In the American Theater of Operations in the Caribbean Air Force, the 22nd and 23rd Pursuit Squadron's interceptor of the 36th Pursuit Group Interceptor transfer from Losey Field in the southern coast of Puerto Rico to Vega Baja in the northern coast of Puerto Rico with P-26s. In California, the arrangement of maritime patrols continues in the zone of the Interior's 4th Air Force. The 115th Observation Squadron, 69th Observation Group, transfers from Sherwood Field in Paso Robles to San Bernardino Army Airfield to continue anti-submarine patrols. They are equipped with Douglas O-38s, like this one with the unit's California Bear insignia clearly visible, although possibly equipped with the O-38F with the enclosed cockpit. I honestly couldn't be sure one way or the other, as well as with North American O-47s and the Stinson O-49 Vigilant, later redesignated. The real action today is in the Southwest Pacific Theater of Operations with the Far East Air Force. First Lieutenant Boyd Wagner, better known as Buzz, of the 17th Pursuit Squadron Interceptor 24th Pursuit Group Interceptor, takes off alone on a reconnaissance mission over Aparri Field. The captured field had resumed operations with the unit of the Japanese Army Air Force Ki-27 Nates of the 50th Sentai yesterday. As Wagner approaches Aparri, a flight of A6M20s engages him, but he successfully evades them before circling around and taking down 2 of the nimble enemy fighters. He then dives to strafe the field and is jumped by another element of Zeros. Sending that pair flaming into the ground, he brings his total for the day to 4 A6M20s, becoming one of the first American pilots to not only have experience with the Zeke, but also success against it. Today's other success comes not from the United States Army Air Forces, but from the Philippine Army Air Corps. While the small force's primary fighters had become the Tversky P-35, these were destroyed on the first day of the war. This engagement involves the much older P-26 Peashooters of the 6th Pursuit Squadron flying out of Batangas Field. The Japanese repeated the same strike patterns as the day before as their air and ground offensive gains momentum. Today, the Japanese intended to render Batangas Field hors de combat. Despite orders to both American and Filipino pilots to avoid engaging the enemy, Captain Jesus Villamor was so filled with righteous anger at the Japanese, he later reported he, quote, forgot to be scared. In this mood, he led aloft a flight of 6 P-26As in an interception of 54 Japanese aircraft, at least 37 G4M Nells and their Zero escorts, although the formation has also been recorded as 54 bombers plus escorts. Regardless, the odds are long, and courage can only make up for so much. Knowing their machines intimately, they are aware of the P-26's limitations. Villamor and his flight used the dated but nimble fighter to harass the enemy, and he takes 1 Nell down, followed by heavily damaging a 2nd Nell, recorded as a possible kill. Lieutenant Alberto Arozanzo also shot down a bomber during the engagement. The interception succeeded in minimizing the damage to Batangas Field and other nearby targets, as Japanese bombers dumped their payloads and broke formation. For the loss of 2 Nells and 1 probable loss, the Filipinos paid with 2 aircraft that day, both rendered inoperable after landing. On December 15th, Captain Villamor and Lieutenant Jose Jothar were decorated by General Douglas MacArthur personally with the Distinguished Service Cross for their actions in the early days of the war. In that same ceremony, Captain Colin Kelly receives his posthumously. Villamor, who lives into the 1970s, is to the besieged Filipinos what Kelly is to the Americans. Lieutenant Arozanzo was also awarded the Silver Star, and Lieutenant Cesar Vasa, who was wounded in the dogfight and killed during a Japanese strafing attack just as he landed in Nichols Field, received the Silver Star posthumously as the first Filipino pilot to die in combat. Today is the 13th December 1941, and this has been a walk through the war. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'm glad to see that there's a following for the series. I hope it continues over the next few, years. So, have a good night, or a good afternoon, or a good morning, wherever you happen to be. This is Claire, and I am the Warbird Mistress. Take care.